Junction Board of Aldermen to order for March 17th, 2026. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Anita Francis, Walter Bates.
Here.
Holly Levine.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
David Kyle. James Shanks. Roger Spencer. Carol Wilbur.
Here.
Thank you. Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, as we commence this meeting of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Carl Junction, we ask for your blessing on our endeavors. Guide us to serve with integrity, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility to the people that we represent. Amen.
Thank you, Walter. We'll move on to approve the agenda. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the agenda this evening?
Can we do that?
I think you've taken roll, right?
Correct.
And you do not have a quorum.
That's correct.
I think at this point is when you would, rather than approve the agenda,
Amend.
you would shorten the agenda by tabling all the items on there, unless there is something you want to talk about.
So I think it would be appropriate to remove the ordinances. I believe we can still present the draft of the budget.
We probably also have to table the consent agenda.
You're tabling the minutes, disbursements. That could cause a problem. Would that cause a problem, tabling the disbursements? Because it's arguable that you can proceed on that with what you have. If that's going to be an issue.
Without looking over them all, I can't tell you for sure. I was not prepared for this. So I don't know if we have any that just absolutely need to be approved right now or not.
But you have some payroll in there too.
Excuse me.
There's some payroll in there also. That's part of the disbursements.
Actually, no, because based on the date, that would be next.
Next up.
I don't know if there's anything that just absolutely has to go out or not that wasn't already previously budgeted for. I mean, we do have some regular like charge accounts that could, since we won't meet again until April, could accrue finance charges from not being paid before the end of their billing cycle. The electric bill is in there.
I think the general rule is that you are allowed to proceed on things that are vital to the functioning of the governmental unit. And I would say that would fall within that category. That is the disbursements. Not so with approval of the minutes or the other items on the agenda. But
I would say paying the electric bill would be vital.
yes,
To the
and once when I was counsel for the city of Joplin, we went for 4 months without a quorum of the council because 5 out of 9 had been recalled.
Oh.
Okay, and but we continued to do necessary business, even though we couldn't pass any ordinances or other than allow the government to continue to exist. We couldn't conduct business. So
Okay.
disbursements are essential, and I would say you should vote on those.
Okay.
So would it be appropriate then if I make a motion that we approve the disbursements and table the other actions listed in the agenda?
I think the first action would be to edit the agenda and then move on to the consent agenda and only do the disbursements.
I didn't quite catch that. Your motion was what?
To approve the disbursements and table the other business.
I think until you get down to number 7, present the draft, then the reports, all of which I think you can do. Okay, so table items 4 through 6.
Four A and then 6A and B.
Right. That's how I would understand that motion.
That's what you're comfortable with?
Yeah.
Okay. Would anybody like to second that? Second. Okay. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. So we are going to amend the agenda to table 4A, 6A, and B. And we will visit those at the next regular scheduled meeting. And then we will go to item 4B to approve the disbursements.
I make the motion to approve the disbursements.
Thank you. Okay, motion by Walter, second by Carol to approve the disbursements. All in favor of those, please raise your right hand. Okay, the disbursements are approved. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to item number 5, public forum. Would anybody like to speak in public forum this evening? Yeah, come on up. Okay. If you don't mind to state your name, address, and then the subject you're commenting on.
My name is Joshua Clausen. I live at 7655 County Lane 288, Carl Junction. I'm here to talk about a proposed disc golf course at Center Creek Park. I sent Steve a proposal on the 6th. I have an abridged version.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have. So, I mean, I can kind of give you.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you here as a citizen or representing a business or?
I just, I technically live like right outside of the city limits.
Okay.
But I'm just a disc golf volunteer.
Okay.
I volunteer for some of the local organizations that are disc golf related.
Okay.
And so, basically, one of the things that I do is that we have a group of people that go around. There's a club in Joplin that manages Joplin activities and does some maintenance around of the courses around in the surrounding area. There are some local businesses that provide disc golf supplies, sundries. But there's no real person that comes out and advocates for building new disc golf courses in municipalities. So like me and several other friends, we have gone to the city of Alba, and we last year installed a 9-hole disc golf course in their city park. 2 years ago, I went to the city of Carthage. They had previously had a disc golf course at Kellogg Lake, and several baskets had been vandalized, and they had a new playground that they built. And so I wrote a proposal for a new disc golf complex. They bought 36 baskets. They just finished installing an 18-hole course. My proposal included a driving range out there too. So they're sitting on baskets. They're just kind of waiting on things. We have a disc golf course in Briarbrook. I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been the person that goes out there and maintains it. Those baskets out there are old. That course, I believe, was installed in 2012. There was a group from Southeast Kansas that manufactured their own baskets, and they went around to several municipalities and were basically selling their baskets along with the course and design. And a lot of design work and course installations cost a lot of money. And so as a disc golf advocate and a player, by no means a professional, like I just wanted grow the sport. And especially in Carl Junction, I've lived here my entire life, as Mr. Hayes knows. And so what we don't have in this area, Neosho has a course that is very beginner friendly. They installed it about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's probably one of the most popular courses in the area. That's about a 40-minute drive for me. And so I've been taking care of the course at Bulldog Lake, but that is not a beginner-friendly course. It does need a redesign, but when you have considerations for redesigning that, and kind of how I've indicated a little bit at the bottom, like what I'm looking for is like a holistic approach to disc golf in this community. Like disc golf is, it's accessible. Anybody can play it. You don't have to be particularly skilled. It gets people outside, it's just another activity. And those are things that we need to do in this community, is provide things for people to do so they don't go to Neosho. They don't go to Carthage, so the plan that I have is, and I have taken my own baskets out there. I have a 18-hole course on my property, but I've taken my own baskets out there at the end of summer, and we had a little tournament. I had a temporary course laid out and set up. Again, about, 2 weeks ago, we did it again, and I got a lot of really good feedback from it. On my own property, my mom and stepdad can go around and throw discs, get exercise. They're in their 70s, so. But so Center Creek Park is an underutilized park in the city. Presently, the swimming pool is in its own state. I've noticed that I think maybe tennis courts have been converted to pickleball courts. I'm not sure, but there's some good infrastructure out there. There's some good pavilions. There's good land, and we're maintaining it, but not necessarily people are using it a ton, other than in September for the Bluegrass Festival. So, I noticed that, we're looking for things to do to increase civic activities. And I saw that there was a skate park mentioned and maybe more pickleball courts. And, I've been going around and advocating for this, and it's relatively low cost, and maintenance is almost next to nothing. I'm sure that the city has paid probably nothing for the course at Briarbrook since it was installed 13 years ago, other than I think about a year and a half ago I took one of the baskets to the city public works so that somebody hit it with a golf cart or something like that. But those are really stout baskets, and it just kind of bent it a little bit, but they had to have hit hard. But
How many baskets are out there?
there are 18, and I will say too that when the city, I don't know how familiar you are with disc golf, but it's basically the same rules as golf. You have a tee pad, which is a concrete pad, and you have a basket. That basket is planted in a metal sleeve that's generally concreted into the ground. I don't know that they did that out there. Some of those were really loose. But what they did when they installed it is that they put 3 different pin positions on each hole so you could move the basket around. There's maybe 2 holes that I've moved the basket on for different tournaments. The last 2 years, I think, we're coming up on 3. We have an annual tournament at Briarbrook. And in previous years, it had also been included in Joplin's premier tournament as an additional course to play. But we have a CJ only tournament out there. And there's a company called Route 66 Discs, a guy that lives in Carterville, and he's ran that for the last 2 years, and he's been using the North Loop, where up toward the soccer fields and on the east side of that North Loop of the walking path, they put in a foot golf course. I don't know how much that's gotten played. Probably not at all, but so we were using that as a temp layout, and the idea is that we have a beginner level course at Center Creek where anybody can go play and learn. Gets in town, It's not too far from the schools. And then they can graduate to playing at Briarbrook and throwing their disc in the water, like I do all the time. So that's kind of my elevator pitch.
So you're advocating for another 18 baskets out at Center Creek?
Yes. And then, I mean, ideally, a future redesign of the course at Briarbrook. But like I can kind of make do with what we have there, but I'd like to move some of the baskets at some point, like which would require just digging a hole and putting a different sleeve in the ground, having a different position. But ultimately, that course is probably one of the less favorable courses in the area because there are so many holes that people are going to throw their disc in the water. And that was when I was doing the design for Carthage, they also had water features. And that was like their primary concern was we don't want people getting hit with discs, and we don't want people complaining to the city because they lost their disc in the sewer pond or whatever it is. So, you know, it would be good to redesign that, but like that property is not good for. It's not a good candidate to put a beginner level course in because beginner level courses, you want to average about what like, you know, a 10-year-old or 70-year-old can throw, and they're throwing 150, maybe 200 feet. So the idea is you want to design a course that leans to those two groups primarily so that they can go out there, feel good about themselves, enjoy walking the park. And that's a fairly large park. So if you have a 200-foot hole, like you'd end up halfway around from the parking lot, and then it wouldn't really make sense. Plus, it would take away that land that an advanced level course would be really suited for.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a cool idea. The cost is, you know, in our ballpark, you know, I would say. So we're currently working on a strategic plan for our parks and our city properties. Is this something that we could send to them and say that we've had some interest in this and maybe they could incorporate that in our plan? Okay. And we're expecting some results from our strategic plan, what, like 6 weeks or something?
I think we have a presentation meeting in May.
In May.
if I remember.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's something that we will definitely look into. And then did you say that you have a connection like with the manufacturer for these baskets or?
So obviously, like, I don't know, the way that Carthage did it is that they sent out, I think, a couple of RFQs to 2 or 3 different places. I have a list of probably the larger companies. There's also a guy in Springfield that makes his own baskets that he's done all of the baskets for the park at McClelland. We have like 54 baskets or something out there.
All right.
What would it take to do one of these if we decided to do it?
So the infrastructure for installation can go like really quick. Basically, you know, there'd be 18 holes that we dig that are about that big around. You put a sleeve in the ground, pour half a bag of concrete around it, and you can just leave it there. The harder part is the T-pad area, which usually is about a 4x8 concrete pad that's roughly 4 inches thick. And so there might be some leveling if like the Parks Department or the Public Works had, you know, a piece of equipment, you could just scrape a level spot. And then in Alba, like me and a couple other guys went out there and built frames with 2x4s. I hauled base rock over there, and then we just had a truck come and pour concrete. So like it goes in pretty quick. It's not like installing like a brand new pickleball court or anything.
Right.
You guys have any further questions? All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for coming to speak with us, and we'll definitely look into this.
All right, thank you very much.
Anybody else for public forum? Okay, so we'll move along to item number 7, present the draft for budget for fiscal. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got a text from James said he's in route. I don't know how
Ah,
long, but
Well,
he
I
did say
don't
he was
know.
in route. Sorry.
Okay. Steve, do you want to talk about the budget, or Walter?
Sure. This is finalized draft. Has all of the different changes in it that we had talked about over the past month or so, probably, you know, from our meeting and our big meeting and then the one after, so. It is. It is a lot. It is an increase overall of almost $1 million. We are spending more out of reserves. Make up for that. It is not stuff that is it's pretty much, we got to do this stuff. There's no fluff in there, that's for sure. So I think, you know, and it allows for the HVAC improvements. It allows for some new equipment at the PD. It is a small raise for employees, but it's doable. And I hope Elena's comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with where it's at. I think it's doable.
Okay, so if everybody can go over the budget, we will have 3 weeks before our next meeting, and then we'll approve it at that next meeting. So if there's any changes, corrections, any issues you see, please bring them during that time.
If you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to get a hold of Elena or I.
Does anybody have any comments or questions on that now? Let's move along to our long-term projects report, please.
I do have bids for repairs at Lakeside Park Pavilion. It'll be mentioned item for you.
Okay, thank you. So did I see? Okay. So we got Mid Central, Nelson, and R.E. Smith for bids. Okay, thank you.
Mid Central, R.E. Smith, and Nelson Enterprises will send stuff.
R.E. Smith wouldn't do it like a bonus add-on?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Are these with us supplying any of the materials?
There is 2 of them for each contractor in there. One of them is us supplying material, and the other is with them.
How's the stormwater project on West Briarbrook? Is that completed or nearly?
That is pretty much done. That was another one I was going to bring and ask for your approval tonight, which will have to go next. And that's, there was that small additional piece off of the stormwater ditch over towards Hedge that needed to be done. I think it was I want to say $8,900, and that would be out of our pocket.
Anything else you want to touch on here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Treasurer's report. Any questions or comments for the treasurer's report? Okay, departments. Chief, anything on here you'd like to touch on? No, okay. Okay, thank you. Public Works. Jay, anything you'd like to touch on for Public Works?
It's been a little tough trying to keep up with 2 gas contractors.
Yeah.
2 water contractors.
Yeah. How long are we expecting them to be working? Do you know? A year.
Like on
Oh, geez.
gas, I don't know.
Okay.
They're here to get all the construction.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We do have a building inspector's report. If there's any questions on there, we can take those. Okay. I'll go ahead to committee reports, budget and finance, Walter.
Nothing beyond what we've already talked about. You have the draft in front of you. Vote to approve that next regular meeting.
Code and nuisance, Carol.
We'll have a orders to approve the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Human resources, nothing for that. Public facilities, we just need to review those bids and be ready to vote on those next time, please. And then nothing for economic development tonight. Okay, let's go to unfinished business. Carol? Walter?
Nothing for me.
Nothing for me. Bob?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Talley? Elena? Crystal? Steve, any unfinished?
No, man.
Okay. Jay, unfinished? Chief? Okay, thank you very much. New business, Bob? Okay, nothing for me.
Nothing for me.
Okay, Carol? Steve? New? No? Okay. Crystal? Elena? Mr. Talley? Jay? Chief? No new? Okay. All right, any other business before the council this evening?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Walter, second by Bob to adjourn. All those in favor, please.